What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations, 2018 Innovation Award winner, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show for dads, fathers, and male caregivers that is sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care, and being part of that entourage, we've reached out to over 400,000 dads, fathers, and male caregivers around the world. As always, I like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. And Ryan hasn't had a change. Ryan's not here with us today, but we are blessed because it is actually her monthly visit with us. Emma Anza, what is up?
Hey, everybody.
What's
I'm
going
happy
on?
to be here on this glorious Monday morning.
Yeah, what's been going on? So good to have you. What's been going on in your world since we last saw you?
Oh, well, the news is newsing. It never ever stops. So, the journalist work is still going strong. And, we're working on some wonderful projects that we're going to get into today.
Nice. What have you been covering? What has been of your interest, news, cultural wise, over the last few weeks?
Well, when it comes to anti-Black racism, that's my main focal point. And, there's no shortage of news where that's concerned. So that is my passion. That's what I pursue. It is the pursuit of happiness, in a sense,
Yes.
exposing the, injustices against our people.
What has been one or two stories that you have reported on that have really caught your interest over the last few weeks?
Well, there was one that is really caught my interest, and it's something that's going on here in Ontario. There is a group of white extremists that have created a fight club, and they go to different gyms, mostly independent gyms, and they operate under the guise that they're just training, right? And
Right.
what they're doing is they are putting together a group to get ready for a race war. I'm not really sure who they're warring. Yes. Oh, yes. There's even one of the independent gyms in Welland, Ontario, which is in the Niagara region where I am, that they train at. So that's one that's been very interesting that I've been following. Then there's also the one that I'm sure everybody has heard about, the 14-year-old teen by the name of Kimari Wint, who stabbed a 71-year-old woman.
Yes.
Who tried to steal her vehicle while she was loading her groceries, and he has been apprehended. So I'm following the story to see what's going to happen, because I do know he's been charged with second-degree murder, and they are moving to try him as an adult. So I've been following that story. I did cover it as well. One of the other stories that I covered was a situation with I guess it's called Sukur Madam. And these are women in their 40s to 70s located in Libya, and they are abducting young African men, and they are sex trafficking them, and they are basically having their way with them. They hold them at gunpoint. They threaten them that if they don't comply, they are going to accuse them of SA. And then with that, they'll end up getting unalived. So they end up being their slave, if you will, as long as they want them to. And then they eventually just dump them somewhere. And it's just a whole bad situation. So I've covered that story. I've interviewed some of the young African men that are victims of it. So that was a pretty huge story. So those are the three that stand out to me right now.
It's interesting in the light of what's going on with the whole Jeffrey Epstein saga, that sex trafficking also involves women trafficking men.
Yes. And a lot of people don't realize that, or at least you don't see a lot of news about that. But yes, it is a thing, and it's a big thing in Libya. And the thing about the women in Libya is most of them are widowed, or their husband left them, and they are very, very wealthy and powerful, and they have law enforcement in their back pocket. So these young men can't even go to the authorities because it doesn't even go anywhere. So it's more about making sure we raise awareness for the young men that live there or the young immigrants that migrate there to be very careful, the things to watch for. When you're going to look for work, do not accept any work from these women. It's a lot of that we're trying to make sure that they're educated.
You are on the front line of Black media in Canada. What do you feel is the state of Black media in Canada?
Well, I listen, we're all trying to do our thing. We're all trying to do our thing. However, I do think there's a lot of Black media that toes the line and tries to keep it safe and cute, and that's fine if that's your brand and your platform. I prefer to expose and report on what's going on, that you don't see in mainstream media. That's sort of our area.
Nice. I know it's summertime, and I know you love culture. Have you
Yes.
have you been to any fun or enjoying cultural events over the summertime?
you know I haven't been to enough.
Okay. Okay.
There is one coming up that I'm very passionate about. Segue into the Toronto Pan African Film Festival that's coming up August 14th to 17th.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about that further, and
Yeah.
I'm very excited about it.
There is, as we record this, coming or broadcasting this live, coming up this weekend, we have Caravana. What are your thoughts about the state of Caravana?
Well, to be honest with you, I haven't gone in decades. I think the last time I went was when it was still along is it University Avenue?
Right?
Do you remember? I'm about to date myself, but
You're not
literally,
you're not the only person that's told me this.
that was like in the 90s. That's the last time I ever went. And that's when it was actually called Caravana, right? It's no longer called that. And it's not owned by our community anymore, right? So the state of it, honestly, because I haven't been and I've been so unplugged from it because it really isn't something that interests me anymore. Um, I pitch that to you. What do you think the state of it is? I mean, I know for me, it's become much more commercialized from what I can see. And, it's moved. There seems to be some restrictions and barriers and things like that. I just don't know if the feel of it is the same. The spirit of it is the same anymore. That's what I would say.
Yeah, for myself, like you, I haven't been at that event for a long time. And obviously, it's not something I'm interested, but I think the whole area of ownership and yeah, it seems to have lost its original base, its original thought process. And people know me if they know me a little bit. I don't call it Caravana, I call it a Marabana because if it wasn't for Americans coming up, it'd be interesting to see how many Americans come this year. But if it wasn't for Americans, they wouldn't get it. And I just feel that our environment doesn't get enough of the economic rewards from it. And I had heard, again, I'm not plugged in enough anymore, but I was hearing rumors that uh, they're even thinking about moving it to Downside Park. I heard rumors. I don't know if that's happening this year, but also, over the years, it's more important or more expensive to buy costumes and all that sort of thing. So I don't know.
It used to be that, well, in regards, first of all, I'll address the Maribana thing. With everything that's going on with the trade wars, the tariff tit for tat, and things like that, I'm not sure either how many Americans will come because I know right now there's not a really great love relationship going on anymore. However, I do think that, it's something that a lot of Americans look forward to. So I think that there'll be, a great many of them that will come through for sure. As far as where it's moving, I can't even imagine it at Downsview, but okay. So does that mean it's not going to be down by the harbor? I think that's the harbor front is where it is.
No, it actually was Lakeshore.
A lakeshore. See, I can't. That's to tell
Yeah.
you how so far removed I am from it. But also, funding in general has been a challenge too for a lot of organizations. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it's going to be like, but I do know that there's always an audience for it, and there's a lot of people I'm sure that are looking forward to it. They're getting their gear together,
Mm-hmm.
and also the pre-carnival things people love as well. Like, the I don't know what that kind of show they do where everybody's in costumes and stuff like that. A lot of people look forward to that. So I don't know. I think it probably will be nice again.
Okay. All right.
Won't be
Enough,
gold, but
enough about all these events. We're going to take a 30-second break. We'll do some housework, and then we're going to have a special friend come and talk about the Toronto Pan African Film Festival that's coming up. So we'll be back in 30 seconds. What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here. These are two ladies. They're not all over the place. They're forward and they're straight shooters.
I got to stand in front.
No wonder people don't understand what the Democrats have been doing. That man lied 36,000 times, and we know this because you all counted it.
This is part of the story that a lot of news outlets are not talking about. All right, we are back on the Morning Vibe with Dr. Vibe and our special friend Emma Ansa on the Morning Vibe today. And let's get down to some business. So subscribe to the Dr. Vibe show on YouTube and hit the notification button. Also follow Dr. Vibe on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Substack. Also join the Morning Vibe Discord group. Email me at dr.vibe at the dr, vibeshow.com, or click on the link that's on your screen, also in most of the comment sections where you're watching this live or in the replay. And also advertise your business, product, or service on any of the platforms I'm a part of. Again, email me. And then can't forget Indie Soup TV, independent content creators platform powered by our good friend Dr. Tachi out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Been around for about 16, 17 months and almost has 28,000 subscribers. I am one of those. Subscribe. Yeah, I'm a subscriber and also I'm a content creator on the platform and also a member of the advisory board. And that's that. So Emma dropped a little thing a few moments ago about the Toronto Pan African Film Festival. So let's show you a little bit of what it's about right now.
We invite you to the 3rd annual Toronto Pan African Film Festival. Rhythm, the heartbeat of Black music and storytelling, taking place at the First Unitarian Center at 473 Oakwood Avenue in Little Jamaica, featuring Play It Loud, Box Cutter, King's Court, Paid in Full, Sounds and Pressure, Amplify, Soundtrack to a Coup d'etat, Zeke, and Hip Hop Story. And join us for the African Diaspora Media Brunch, taking place on August 17th at the Aqua Supper Club, featuring Philip Scott from the African Diaspora News Channel. Get your tickets now by visiting tpath.com.
All right, there she is, our friend Lori Beazer, Executive Festival Director. You just need to unmute yourself, Lori.
Am I unmuted? Yes, you can hear me.
Woo-hoo! Live and clear, and so great to have you this morning. How you doing?
Great. I'm doing great. Hi, beautiful one, Emma. We're almost here.
hello, my sister. Hello.
We're almost here.
Fantastic.
Great to be here, Dr. Vibe.
Pleasure to have you. Pleasure of our conversations over the last few weeks. First of all, a little bit of background about yourself, and then we'll get right into the festival.
Okay, so who am I? So, name is Lori Beazer, and I do a lot of programming out there in Little Jamaica. I brought the Afro-Caribbean Farmers Market and Toronto Paddy Festival. And so kind of broadened the reach a little bit, and have included something called the Toronto Pan-African Film Festival to help animate Little Jamaica. We know how that's been affected lately, by Metrolinx. So my projects really help to anchor the culture in Little Jamaica. So we're doing our third year, something really spectacular in Little Jamaica. Yeah, I know. The film festival is awesome. It is awesome. Yes.
So Emma is working with Lori on this epic event, but Emma, you're more than welcome to answer questions also. So don't hang out in the background. But then my next conversation piece, Lori, is how did it start?
It started because there was funding available. I'm not in the arts. But what I found is that let's create another space outside of food. Like I said, I run the farmers market. I expanded a little bit, bringing another food festival. So I wanted to step away a little bit and anchor art. So I thought about it, and bingo, bango, voila, here we are. The cultural hotspot was in Little Jamaica in 2022 and 2023. They're a division of the city that goes to different pockets of Toronto, sets up shop for about 2 years, pulls in community to help anchor art and the arts. So they were in Little Jamaica in 2022. I jumped in 2023, proposed a film festival, and here we are. We've been able now to continue for 3 years.
Wow.
And we're back. Yeah. Bigger and better and bolder and full of rhythm. Full of it.
How did you and Emma cross paths?
I was at her husband's concert. But before then, Toronto Paddy Fest, I expanded it into an evening event called, Motown at Sundown.
Oh, I love that title.
Was performing last year in 2023. No, 2024.
Motown.
Right, Emma? That's where we met, but we didn't really connect. But I do remember her. And this year, Carlos was I'm a Carlos groupie. I am. I'm a Carlos Morgan groupie. So he was performing, and of course, Emma was there. And
we had a conversation, and it was just a passing conversation where I was planning something, and then we just started talking, and then she's like, well, let's do it together. And so what I was planning on bringing Philip Scott, who is the founder, CEO, major mega media mogul of African Diaspora News Channel, Emancipation Media, the Philip Scott Show, the Philip Scott podcast, headquartered in Houston. And I was trying to bring him down for a meet and greet weekend. And I just had this passing conversation. And then Lori was like, let's do it. And I was like, okay, let's do it. And then the next thing you know, we were meeting and planning, and here we are. We managed to put together a beautiful, beautiful weekend. It's going to be a great time. And we encourage everybody to come out. And as Lori touched on, and I'm just going to echo, is, the gentrification that's taking place in Little Jamaica. So I love the fact that that's where it's going to be housed for the most part, with the exception of the 17th. And, the community needs to come out, support, pour into the community. We can't allow erasure to happen.
And it's free. Like, the festival is free.
Yeah.
Except for our film and media brunch at the After Supper Club on Sunday, where we wrap. But, the gala is free. The other screenings on Friday and Saturday are free. So, you can't be cheap. Like, if you want to take a chick out on a date, this is perfect, right? You get your tickets. I do have a little bit of a cook shop happening in the site as well. So you can grab something to eat. I have vendors. So it's a whole thing. Come on out. Just check us out, tpaf.com. Get your tickets. Figure out what movies you want to see. Hopefully all of them. It's all free.
Okay.
And then on the 17th, you'll get the another free. It's a beautiful brunch that we're going to be having, and then you got a fashion show by this amazing Sierra Leone fashion designer. It's called Fab Boutique. Then we're going to have another film screening, and then we're going to have panels where we're going to have amazing Canadian talent in film and media, including our one and only Dr. Vibe, who will be on panel offering gems. And then we have, Philip Scott coming from Houston. It's his first time in Toronto, and we have a massive Toronto audience that tunes in every day. So come on out, and like Lori said, if you were taking out your lady on a date, you would spend more than the ticket price. So, and you're getting a lot more for that ticket price, aside from the fact that you had it free for 3 days. So come on, what are we waiting for here?
Right.
What are we talking about?
All right. So Fitness IQ Cam says morning. So good to have you here this morning, Fitness IQ Cam. And also Office of Tim Frey. Morning, everybody. Says morning, everyone. Tim, I did get your message. I will respond to it today. So don't worry. I'm going to get to it. Lori, let me ask, can you cycle back to the first film festival and some memories you have from them there?
Cycling to the first one. I didn't know what I was doing, but I did it. I did it. We were in the various libraries in Little Jamaica, just going back and forth. I just chose films that were available that spoke to what our position is. And we stand on 4 pillars, and that's African liberation, African spirituality, Black displacement, Black exploitation. So these are the kinds of uncomfortable stories that anchor the Toronto Pan African Film Festival. So we were just pulling films, putting it together, bingo, bango, voila. And then, you see what's happening. You see where do you want and how do you want to move forward with the festival. And the second year again became a themed one. That was the very first one where I was able to theme it. I had the time to really think. And last year it was all about her. So it was films that anchored Black female storytelling. And in this third year, again, we've anchored it with music. So the very first one was just an idea, a pilot, to figure out how do we move it forward. And I think as we've learned, as I've learned, it's becoming a lot more structured. And this year, from the very first year, I know people will see a huge difference and feel a huge difference. Mind you, I have a fantastic producer with me now, Emma, who has just been, I couldn't pay for her services. Let's just put it that way. And she's here and she's really putting things together, seeing things through a different lens, and just structuring the program a lot more structured than I could have. And I thank her for that, like from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much.
I got you, sis. We're putting together a beautiful event.
I know you do. I know you do.
So let me ask, what is in the process of what films are being shown at this year's event or even in the past? What is that process? Because it's just like, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. What is the process in saying, okay, we're going to show this, and the reasoning why these films are going to be shown this year?
Mm-hmm. So like I'd mentioned, they kind of have to fit the 4 pillars, Black spirituality, Black liberation, Black exploitation, Black displacement. These are the things, the uncomfortable stories. That's what Toronto Pan African Film Festival is. We're not Hollywood, never planned to be Hollywood, not interested. This is about our stories and our storytelling. And typically our storytelling comes from very uncomfortable places that I've noticed, that a lot of our Black filmmakers are able to tell their stories. It's from difficult spaces. I don't know. What do you think, Emma? Do you agree? Like you're more with the artists, but from someone that's outside of the arts, I know what I want to see when I go to a film. What I want to see, experiencing film.
Yeah, I mean it's lockstep with the theme, right? Which is about rhythm, and it's our people telling the stories.
Yeah,
So I absolutely agree that it is. You know, I just can't even imagine who wouldn't be interested in these stories, particularly as it falls in that theme of rhythm, the theme of music that shapes our soul. And when you think about music and you think about Black people and Black musicians in Canada, every one of them can tell you a story.
absolutely. And
Of
it's not a pleasant one for the good
exactly
majority of them. It's a struggle. It's a struggle. I
right.
mean, if you come out to our opening night gala, we're screening the film "Play It Loud," and it chronicles the life of our beloved Jay Douglas, who is significantly anchored in the Little Jamaica community. And it talks about him coming to Canada in the 60s, 50s, and 60s and bringing the music. Before it was even reggae, it was ska, right? And he talks about getting into these establishments and how difficult it was. And I'm not going to say too much more, but these are the stories, and a lot of our films and our stories come from a place of challenge, a lot of challenge, especially here in Toronto. We're still challenged, and it's still a challenge. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily think the challenge will ever go away, but these are our stories, and we honor our stories. And this is what the Toronto Pan African Film Festival is all about: is honoring our stories and our storytellers.
Exactly. And just to echo on that, listen, this isn't TIFF, right? So
Yeah,
again, it's a community event. It's free and it's in Little Jamaica. And as I said before, we're going through some challenges in that community. So it's really important that our community comes out to support this event and really just enjoy these stories and really get a sense of history of what Black musicians have gone through, the good, the bad, the ugly truth. And it's just going to be a beautiful event, a vibe. You get to walk the black carpet, take pictures, network, meet people, connect. You'll be able to find people that you could collaborate with. This is just artistic excellence in one room for an entire weekend. It doesn't get any better than that,
indeed,
really.
indeed.
For both of you, what would make a successful film festival this year? Do you have any measurements of what would be successful this year's film festival?
Attendance. How did we reach? Like, did we reach people? So we look at that through the attendance. I know for me and the analytics, as the executive festival director, I'm looking at the analytics. I want to see bums in seats. I need to know, right? And how did we reach you?
Mm.
So on that for
I
me,
agree.
the analytics is important for me.
Yes,
It's
attendance,
not just,
attendees,
yeah,
and the takeaway, right? Like we love to hear from our audience members. How did you feel about this? Well, what did you feel about this festival? I always say that word of mouth is one of the best forms of advertisement, right? So I want to hear from the people. I want to see, how some celebrities who have a movie coming out will sneak into the theater and they'll be sitting in the back and because they want to see how the audience is connecting with what the story is and stuff like that. So I want to see that too. I want to hear from the people. So attendance, attendees, audience feedback, the overall vibe, how everybody's feeling, taking it in, the actual artists, the ones who put out this hard work, how they feel, all of that for me.
Excellent. All right. Well, I know Lori has to run because she doesn't have anything to do with her life. Producer Matt, if you can just put up information about the film festival on the screen in regards to the website, the Instagram, email, and then also more, just as important, if not more important, where people can buy tickets. The link would be great to have up there. So that's the information, and whatever platform you're watching this on replay I'm part of, information's in the comment section. We'll certainly be promoting it as this epic event comes up. Lori, do you have any final words for us? Yeah.
Final words are the 3 days is Afrocentric summer stylish. You got to come down, dress to impress, have fun, enjoy free film, and honor Black film.
Wonderful. All right. Well, look, have a great rest of the day. Don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Remember to give yourself grace. And I'll see you in a few weeks.
You shall.
All right.
Bye, Emma.
Take care. All right. That is it. So that was wonderful. So is that film festival keeping you busy, young lady Emma?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, it is. But you know what? I always say you don't work a day in your life if you're doing what you love.
All right.
So even though I'm busy and I'm working, I am doing things that I'm passionate about. So for me, it's good work. It's busy. It's good busy.
It's hard work, not hard work, right?
Eggs. Oh, I love that. I'm going to use that one.
Okay. More than happy to. All right. So, family, we are going to transition to another conversation topic that I think may elicit some comments. So for those people who may or may not know the name Shannon Sharpe, ex-NFL football player, I think he's a member of the Hall of Fame, and then, got into the podcasting business over the last few years with his club Shay Shay, that which I guess one of the most notable things from that platform is the infamous interview with Cat Williams, which I believe the last I checked has had over 90 million views on YouTube. Well, Mr. Sharpe seems to be, and he's 55 years old in fantastic physical shape. I'll just say physical shape. There's other shapes that you can be in. And a few months ago, I guess it's a 19-year-old lady who's an OnlyFans model, released some media, I think it was recordings of her and Shannon having conversations that were a little bit okay. And then she ended up suing him in regards, I don't know the exact charge, and maybe I'll look it up while we're having the conversation today. For a lot of money, Mr. Sharpe offered her $10 million to settle. She said no. And then as it was going to trial over the last few weeks, it seems that this has been settled. And the speculation is that Mr. Sharpe has given this lady around $20 million to settle. I thought it'd be good to have Emma and I had a short little chat about this a few weeks ago. I said, no, Emma, stop. Let's wait for you to come on and we'll go full in it, because we could have went on for an hour and a half. I said, no, we got to save this for the audience for your next appearance. So that's why we're chatting about it today. So if anyone has comments on this, please put them in the chat. I've got 1 or 2 polls when I see there's some engagement going on. But Emma, what's your opening thoughts on this interesting situation?
Well, first of all, it was the timing for me, because I know that an announcement came where he was signing a deal for 120 million. And then all of a sudden, this OnlyFans model is suing him, right, for SA. Now, I'm not excusing him. Okay. You make your decisions and life happens. But from what I heard, it was 23 million. So I know she was suing for 50 million and they settled for 23. And then she conveniently came out and said, I'm now retiring as an OnlyFans model, because I guess she
got her bag.
She got her bag.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my thoughts on that is let this be a lesson to a lot of our brothers to be very careful about conversations you have, text messages, all of those kinds of things, because these ladies out here are no joke, okay? They are no joke. And I find a lot of them are very cunning and they pick their moment to when they're going to pounce. And they hold on to those receipts until their moment comes. And as far as I'm concerned, that moment came when she heard 120 million.
Well, number of things I'll put out there. As I heard from someone a while back, don't hang around with people that have less to lose than you. And another thing too is, I'm just putting out there, Shannon, and actually I've heard now there's another suit coming up against him. I've heard now that's coming up. But and you mentioned in your thoughts a few moments ago, this be a warning to our brothers. This is going to happen again. It has happened before and it will happen again. I don't know what it will take for that measure, but wasn't there a film many years ago called Risky Business? I think it was. Yeah, I would say relationships are very much challenging, but there's a relationship thing. There's a potential racial aspect in this also. There's so many different layers, but Shannon, you made your bed and you slept in it. But even more ironic, though, from the Cat Williams interview, there was the famous line. Did he say if you hang out with a lady for a weekend, could kill your career? Something to that extent. I don't know. But Emma, come on back in.
Oftentimes a lot of these, celebrities, athletes, etc., feel like when you get with somebody like an OnlyFans model or a working girl, if you will, that they're safe because, they don't have to worry. These people aren't going to speak about anything. This is their profession, right? And I think it's so unfortunate that somebody who is 55 years old and who's in the media scape, maybe he talks about sports and things like that, but even with this podcast, you're in the media scape. I'm sure he's got his finger to the pulse of what goes on in the news. So why would you allow yourself as a 55-year-old man to get taken down by an 18-year-old? That's what kills me. That's what really kills me. And the fact that he settled does admit some semblance of guilt because there was some report about him saying that there's some private things that he doesn't want out. So he's like, let me just settle this one time. And like you said, oftentimes, if you see one mouth in your house, there's more than one. So I think more people will come out because they see, oh, this woman got 23 million. Let me go see what I can get now. You know what I mean? So I don't think that it's over for him, sadly. And like you said, there are a lot of men that still engage in this kind of activity. And what I will say to them is you had better start running because it's not going to be a good time for you because these ladies out here, they're not joking.
Well, just in the comments. Yeah, in the comments section here, Just Tornado. Haven't seen you for a while, Just Tornado. Hope you are doing fine and safe. Good to see you as always. Watch on the YouTube channel. And Fitness IQ Cam, great question. How many warnings do these guys need?
I don't even think there's a number, to be honest. I don't think a number exists because if I were a black man and I saw this happening to people that I've been, big fans of, that I've worked with, that are, as far as I'm concerned, when you hear Stephen A. Smith talk about Shannon Sharpe, he's a great guy and all those other things. And I see what's going on, I would be super careful about who I'm dealing with. And I'd be really careful about how I communicate. So I don't think there's a number. I truly don't.
When you first heard about this lawsuit, what was your initial reaction?
Another one bites the dust. That was the first thing that came to my mind. And I will tell you, I wasn't surprised either. I mean, nothing surprises me anymore. And maybe it's because I'm a journalist. Maybe it's because I see so much. But talking on the vein of this, I'm not surprised. I mean, there's so many cases like this, and there's probably more cases than we know. Not probably. There are more cases than we know. It's just when you have people that are in the public eye, it blows up, right? So you see it everywhere. But I wasn't surprised. So my initial reaction was, oh no, another one.
There's so many different avenues I can go on this. I'm just trying to think which one I'm going to go down. Okay. We'll go down this one. So what do you have to say for our brothers who get themselves potentially in these situations that can go the wrong way? There's also an aspect. Well, I'll just start with that. I can go on. There's another direction I'm going to go, but I just want to get your take on that first.
What does it say about our brothers?
Yeah.
Well, what it says is there needs to be some introspection. There needs to be some inner work to figure out, why, using Shannon Sharpe again as an example, at the age of 55, do you not want to just settle down with somebody that's at least in your demographic? I'm sure there are some very successful women that, have integrity, have class, have tact, have, a good work ethic, are God-fearing, all of the, basic attributes that people look for in a partner. So the question begs for me when I see somebody that age that wants to get with young OnlyFans people, I think there needs to be some inner work to ask yourself, well, why don't I want to at this point in my life? I mean, you're on the other side of it now, okay? You're on the other side of it. So our lifespan starts to shrink. So do you not want to have, a family, a legacy? I'm sure maybe he has a legacy. I don't want to assume he doesn't. But how long are you going to just be chasing young people that really, what do you really have in common once you leave the bedroom?
Wow, I like how you put it.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, when you listen to those audio clips, it begs to question, what really do you have in common with this person? What conversations are you having about being a Black man and, Black causes and things that go on against our community? Like, what is the point of that? So for me, I'm really long-winded with this. It's just these are the conversations that I have with people, off this platform, and just saying, what's wrong with you? Do you need to really look at that? And that goes for all brothers who are engaging in this kind of activity when you're like 50. Why? Ask yourself that question. Look in the mirror and say, why am I living my life like this? And how can I live my life better? Because this man has gone on record and said some negative things about Black women.
Yes,
Okay.
he has.
So that's the other question you want to ask yourself is, so you are trashing Black women, but you're with an OnlyFans model who has now taken you down? So again, there are a lot of questions. There's a lot of inner work that needs to be done with brothers who engage in this kind of activity.
Okay. All right, people, gonna put up a poll for if you're watching on YouTube. Let's see if we can get this going here. But we do have a question. It's interesting. People are really quiet. They're not talking a lot. So I don't know if Mr. Sharpe has had influence on y'all, but if you're watching on the Dr. Vibe Show YouTube channel, I have a poll for you. Should Shannon Sharpe return back to TV? 1, yes. 2, no. 3, maybe. 4, don't care. Myself and Emma are in the media game. Oh no, well, it's just the environment. It is a game too. At a lot of times, it is a game. Emma, do you feel we'll see him in the future back on major television? Because before this scandal on ESPN, #1 sports entertainment network in the United States. He had a contract for his show Club Shay Shay on the Volume, which I think is still going on, but he lost a lot of money on upcoming deals, as you mentioned earlier, because of this scandal. Do you think we'll see him on major media again in the near future?
Well, if we're going to talk about ESPN is Disney. Does Disney want to relinquish their squeaky clean Mickey Mouse image? I personally believe everybody deserves a second chance.
Oh, okay.
I believe everybody deserves a second chance. It just depends on what you do with that second chance. So whether or not ESPN under Disney chooses to give him that second chance, I personally think it's doubtful. But he has his podcast, and I think that he has the opportunity to really continue to be really successful on that. Also, I think if he was able to land a good interview with I don't know, I'm trying to think of one really important anchor, I don't know, an Oprah or a Gail or somebody that's Black, preferably. I think that would do really well, and that would give him a chance to speak. And people love to hear and connect to those emotional hooks, right? Like, talk about what's in your heart. Talk about why you did what you did. Talk about what you're doing to sort of redeem yourself. Like, talk about your atonement, your accountability. People like to hear that kind of thing. And then with that, people can, find a way to give this man some grace. But back to ESPN, I personally think it's doubtful. I know he's supposed to be going back in the fall, is it?
Yeah, well, I don't think that's happening now. He said he was going to be back for the beginning of football season. I don't know if I see that happening.
Well, that's my whole point, right? I don't know if ESPN is ready to give him that second chance.
Yeah. I don't think we'll see him in the near future. I think, and especially with Disney in that sort of situation, and very interesting, ESPN's major competitor in the sports entertainment facet, Fox, where Shannon Sharpe was at before he went to ESPN. He left there to go to ESPN, but interesting enough, they have gone through their own sex scandal with a lady named Joy Taylor, and others. And Joy Taylor, they did not renew her contract, and they basically let her go. They let a number of people go from the network, but she was the people that, okay, because I don't know if there's a lawsuit going on right now about some of her comments and behaviors. We'll just leave it there. Okay, so we got a comment here. Office of Tim Frey says legacy media is not where everyone aims to be anymore. I'm sure Shannon is fine with digital media. So there you go.
That's what I'm saying. I think he'll be fine with Club Shay Shay. Will continue to do well, and it would also do well again if he was to go on and talk about this experience. I think people would love to hear that. I'm sure his views would go through the roof again.
Yeah, I know that he has his core fans that are going to love him no matter what. The thing is, and I guess with his numbers, he'll still be able to get good advertising revenue, but it will be interesting to see what that looks like compared to what it was a year and a half ago. I'm sure the revenue from advertising has gone down. other lens I'd like to get your take on. Okay, so Fitness IQ Cam says TV like ESPN. You mashed it up, but other platforms will take him. So she feels that other platforms will take him. All right. What do you feel about the media's handling of him being a black man in this situation?
Well, if we were going to do comparisons, if we were to do an apples to apples comparison with somebody that was, a palm colored person that's in the same situation, what would have happened to him? How would have he been treated? So when we talk about, I don't know, like a Matt Lauer, for example, he was exiled, but he got a whole bunch of money before they let him go, right? So was he treated the same? I mean, I guess. I guess he was treated the same. I think the only difference is he didn't get a massive payout. That $120 million deal, he didn't get. I don't believe, unless I'm wrong, I don't believe he got a cut off of that.
No, that's interesting. Yeah, he said he was taking a leave from ESPN. I don't know if there was any financial or that. I don't know if ESPN. I think he left before ESPN said, you know what, you got to take some time off, or we just. I don't think they cut off, which is interesting. I don't know if they terminated his contract, which is very interesting. I have to do some research. I don't know what is his contractual status with ESPN right now, so that'd be interesting. Hayden Morrison says, this is a brother with a psychological problem issue. I don't know if there is a fix for that.
Well, like I said, I think the work is between him and God and maybe a therapist. But just going back to the question about how he is treated as a black man, well, I do think, he was lambasted and slammed from every race. Okay. Like literally our people, white people, everybody was like, oh, Shannon, you're trash. But I think also too, from the black community, I feel like people were harder on him because of the way he spoke about black people, or black women anyway. I had a clip, and I should have actually provided that to you ahead of time, but I had a clip where he was literally saying, people keep telling you to go for your age. And he was like, well, what do you, and, go for a black woman or whatever. And he was like, well, what do you got to offer? What do you got to offer? And my thing is, what does an OnlyFans got to offer you? Right. So I think he really was, he was trashed pretty bad.
Producer Matt, please let's get Emma's contact information on the screen, because anyone who does 15 of things 15 of the same basic thing in one day has to be commended, because it is a lot of hard work.
Yeah, you see the 10 minutes, clip go up, but people don't realize the work.
Exactly.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It is, especially when you, like we talk about, move with integrity. It's not, stuff where we're putting together stuff that's not factual. And, so you've got to do the work. You got to put in the work.
So Office of Tim Frey says, how can we get a hold of Emma? That's why I had a feeling. That's why we put her contact information up on the screen. So you have it. And Tim, if you need it, you can also contact me directly. That is no problem. So we found out what you do. So any long-term projects that you're working on that we should know about, other than the festival and all the other stuff you're doing? Any other things you're working on right now?
No, actually not right now. I mean, the festival is really taking up a lot of my time. I will be at TIFF as well.
Oh, wow.
In September. I do have a press pass, so I do attend all of the events, and I do some interviews with, some of the, movie filmmakers and stuff like that. So that will be a week of work, but again, it's good work. Just getting some content and connecting with the film life, which I really love. I love that space. I love that creative space. I think it's great. And it's, the antithesis of what I do on a regular basis, but it's also something else that I'm passionate about. So, yes, I'll be a TIFF. And I believe we have an off TIFF event that I'll be working on as well with African Women Acting, which is another organization I work with. And I'm the manager of PR and communications. So we are working on an off TIFF event, which will be exciting. And, probably by the next time I come on, I'll have more information about that. So I can share that information. So that long term, that's the only thing right now. There is something else going on, but I can't talk about it yet. But hopefully by the time I come back, which is the next fourth Monday, I might be able to talk about it. It's a very, very exciting project that I've been involved in. So stay tuned for that.
Nice. Well, hopefully next time on your episode, and we're on the Dr. Vibe Show working on something, myself and producer Matt, that we're speaking by the next time you're on, you're going to go, what? So we're working on, we're diligently working on bringing something new for the Dr. Vibe Show family, Morning Vibe. This will be something that'll be available on all the shows that I'm hosting. It'll be a, just say it's an interesting engagement tool. I'll just leave it at that.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
Just looking forward to it. So before we call it a day, as always, if you want to get okay, let's do this thing. Let's do it this way. Let's go to this. Please subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. Follow the the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Substack. Join the Morning Vibe Discord group. Email me at dr.vibe@vibe.show.com or click on the link that's in the Discord. And I believe I shared all this stuff out on in the comment sections on everyone who's watching live or the replay. Advertise your business, product, or service on any of the platforms I'm on. Please email me. Also on YouTube today, the top 3 people putting in comments were, well, what a guess who's number 1. Who wants to guess who was number 1? I don't think that's too much of a guess. Fitness IQ Cam was number 1. Tim Frey. And then, there we go. There we go. Love it. Love it. They were our top 3 contributors. Thank you so much. Then also, if you want to get a hold of Ryan O'Neill Knight, Ryan O'Neill Knight is RyanO'NeillKnight.com. That's Knight with a KN.com. Also, LinkedIn, Ryan O'Neill Knight. Instagram at Ryan.Knight99. Email address, workwithme@RyanO'NeillKnight.com. If you got to get a hold of, okay, we already put Emma's stuff. I said we could put up again, but it's already up there. All right, website with me, the drvibeshow.com, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok, The Dr. Vibe Show. Instagram at The Dr. Vibe Show. X, drvibeshow. And email, I already said the email address. You can catch me on Substack at drvibe.drvibe.substack.com/subscribe. And getting more people watching on Substack, which is beautiful. And also Blue Sky, drvibe.bsky.social. We got one more comment in here, so I want to make sure we get to it. And she goes, me. So Fitness IQ is happy because she was a number 1 contributor on the YouTube side to say, of course you were. I've got to work on getting you and Emma on together. I think that would be a show.
That would be fun. Let's go.
You see, she said, let's go. Let's make it happen, Fitness IQ Cam. So are you up for making that happen? I'm up for it. And then finally, you can watch replays of the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, and the Afro-Caribbean Business Network on YouTube, and Ryan O'Neill Knight on YouTube. How do we close it out? As always, live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get smaller to get stronger. Block assumptions. Aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Remember to give yourself grace. And if you're not making money, make history. Try to do both and make it better. And a big shout out to, over the past weekend, to Tristan Barracks, who did a screening of his film Sugar Dumpling yesterday. So it looks like it went really well. And also shout out to Troy Crossfield, who on Saturday had the 10-year anniversary of Iron Sharpened Iron. Gentlemen, Wonderful stuff you are doing. Keep it going. Keep it going. God bless. Peace to all. Keep the faith. Walk good. And we'll see you on. Oh, by the way, on Friday, Wayne Harris, because I got up this one going, wow, the first Friday in August is this Friday. So first Financial Fridays with Wayne Harris this Friday. Make sure you check it out. Follow us everywhere. God bless. Peace to all. Keep the faith and walk good. Peace.
Bye, everyone.
This whole thing of using your business with plant-based products, don't you think your life should reflect that too?
Juke him, Carolyn. Juke him. The family loves us here because they're saying Fitness IQ Can says put a wig on to get in.
Oh my God.
Like the ideas are just coming fast and furious here this morning. What? Okay, look at this. Global Women Ambassador. Good morning. Look forward. Okay.